Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So, I'm so glad that you guys are subscribed because I'm still going through a watercolor series, just kind of exploring the watercolors that I have and ordering some more. So, you're going to see a lot on the channel. So, what is going on here is actually a new way that I am keeping track of my inventory. This isn't for the excess watercolor, this is just for one representation of each watercolor that I have. And you're actually just seeing half of it right now because the other ones just don't fit on the table. So I literally have decks of these, and I have been doing a little reminder to myself by making these little color swatches here. And it's been really interesting because I have been reminded of some colors that I had forgotten about that I really wanted to do more with in the series, and also that I wanted to create some like custom mixes for in all different kinds of brands. And when I came, I actually didn't think to turn the camera on when I was swatching these, but we will do more with them later, I promise. I was actually just about to do white nights. So I thought maybe you might like to visit these with me as I swatch them. And the reason why is because they are a very affordable brand with a lot of single pigment colors. And, you know, these paints from Russia by St. Petersburg, they are really quite lovely paints. And I can't remember why I don't use them as much. I know there was a reason, and I thought maybe if I painted with them right now and just did the swatches, it would remind me. Sometimes it's just a matter of I just reach for certain things. As you know, I love Schminke. I love Daniel Smith. I love Sennelier. There's so many that I love, right? And I just don't reach for these, and I don't know why. I can't figure it out. So I'm going to get out a palette that I think has all of my white nights in them, and we're going to swatch them out. I did notice looking at an old chart from like 4 years ago, some of these look a little bit, to me, they look just a little bit light. And I'm thinking maybe I had trouble getting like those depth of color with white nights. I'm not sure because they tend to be really high pigment paints. They tend to be very light fast, do layering well. I mean, they have a lot of good qualities. I don't think that they spread in water as well as some of the others, and they don't have a ton of granulating. But with that being said, there's still some really beautiful things about them. I remember Carmine being brighter, and I don't know why it looks so light there. Maybe it faded. I'm not sure because Carmine is actually lovely. Another one that's lovely is this green, although I have heard, even though this is PG8, that it fades. But these are like 4 years old, and unless it's under direct sunlight, I don't know. These don't really look that faded. I can say this orange doesn't look as bright as it probably should be. The lemon looks a little bit washed out. The cerulean looks way better in this swatch than it does in this swatch here. This swatch, it's like completely whited out, where here it's actually got some really nice transparency and texture. So I think it just depends, and I'm going to remember some things when I swatch these for sure. As you know, I've been working through a lot of colors. I have so many more than these now, but this is really fun to do, and just kind of going through looking at the colors and figuring out what I like best about different things has been really helpful. Okay, so let's get a brush here, and I might just get out that palette and take a look at these. So I'm pretty sure that this palette was all white night paint at one time. So we're going to go ahead and just fill these wells a little bit. The tubes are still opening nicely, although if you notice, I did not get a lot of junk on the tubes. I kept them kind of clean. This is the Lemon 214. We have Cad Yellow Medium, which won't come off at all. It's a beautiful color. Oops, there we go. It's exploding. So I'd love to know your thoughts if you're here on White Night, and let me know your White Night experience. I actually got these from the St. Petersburg school when I ordered them. Oh, this one's not even open yet. Wow. This is 217 Golden Deep. I actually have that right there, so I don't even think I'm going to open it because I don't want to get the air in it. Raw Sienna. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts. Seems like the raw sienna is really kind of thick after a while, even though it's been shut. The carmine. I mean, this one isn't even open. That's so funny. What is this one? This is Cad Red, I think. Amazing. I should open it though. Here, let's open. So typically when these don't open, you know, they have like a little cut in the center of the case or the lid. And when you screw it on tighter, it usually opens them. And I'm not really sure why this one didn't open, but I got it open. So this is all written in Russian. So I'm looking for anything that tells me what it is. It says it's 302. So just to check, 302 is Cad Red Light. There we go. Very nice. So that came out way easier, but that was a brand new tube. But as you can tell, I taped it because it has a leak, but still came out well. I think this is Carmine, which is actually, I think, one of my favorite colors by this brand. I think they did a really good job with Carmine. And their Carmine is PR 170:1. Then here is cerulean. Now, cerulean is weird in this brand, but with that being said, it still looks pretty cool. You see how it's always, you have to squeeze a lot out because it's like as nice as it wants to be. The binder in here is never quite right. So I'm going to show you how to deal with this. I just get a spatula because the binder is always separating from it, but you just mix it up and it'll be fine. You can do it with a brush or a spatula and it'll be good. With any of your colors, sometimes over time, if they're, you know, been around for a while or been sitting for a while, or just depending on the formula, actually, it doesn't really mean they're old. I've had some that are brand new that still do that. Doesn't really mean anything. It's just some will separate. This is the, look, this one's not open either. It's crazy. I hate to actually open these, but I want to make sure that I'm getting them. And I've got to put this one open too. Okay, let's see if I can get it open with this. Maybe. Nope. Okay, needed a thinner one. There we go. Well, these are going to be neat. Okay, so let's put this here because I'm not really sure where it was before. Ah, it's still coming out. I just put it all over my studio here because I always use ultramarine, so this is ultramarine. One of the most beautiful colors they have is this color called green, and I've heard so many things about this color, right? Like ideally the pigment load of these colors is supposed to be amazing, right? So right up there in professional grade. They are supposed to be medium to high light fast. And then I've heard some people talk about this green that I love so much. That's almost like a sap green. And they have said that it has questionable light fast rating. Now you can see in this swatch that's pretty old. It's been around for a while and it works just fine. but I don't know. I have not done a light fast test on it. So maybe I know there's some websites that do that. So I would look into it. But there are questionable, listen, there are questionable Daniel Smith ones as well that aren't light fast. Oh my God, these are not open. I have so many of them. Sorry about that. I have so many of these too. I should have checked. Ooh. Okay. Well, that came out fast. Put that in there. I will definitely use the paint, so, because I am always painting. And this one is the other green, which is emerald, which is another beautiful, beautiful color. And then we have lamp black, which I'll put right here. Actually, considering this one's been open for a long time, that came out really nicely. Not bad. I don't like black that is really watery out of the tube. I think it should be a nice weighted black. This is sepia, which is hard to get open. There we go. And I think that is in here. So I'm going to put that right there. I should be stopping to clean these, but, and I did the black. Okay, so what we need to do, we stand this up. And aren't these cute? These are so cute. I'll leave you a link in the description box if you want to get these. And they're really neat because they can stack and do all kinds of things. Now let me give you my thoughts on these as I do them. Let's see. I know that there's going to be some gorgeous colors here. What I'm curious about is why these swatches look so light in some cases, you know? So here's the yellow. And I'm just going to put a nice amount on here because they're going to dry. And we want to see. So look, even a thick layer of this yellow is transparent. So it's gorgeous, right? How can you go wrong with that? So as far as how much these are so inexpensive. Now, with that being said, remember there's Roman Schmal now made in Poland, right? So like you've got the White Knights, Roman Schmal, there's a lot of options. I happen to be in love with Roman Schmal. As far as White Knight, there are a lot of colors. There's the Series A, which is tons and tons of colors, which is part of the lemon. And most, I think, of these colors are in the Series A. I'll have to look. There's the Series B, which is slightly more expensive, but we're only talking about like $5 to $7, right? So these are really inexpensive paints. This is the Cad Yellow. It's semi-transparent, but beautiful color, PY35. So the lemon is PY3. And the reason why I'm telling you the pigment information, it's really important that you pay attention to that because colors won't always have the same name. And sometimes they'll even have similar names and be made with different pigments. Like carmine. I know that carmine is much different in other brands, and I know they're not using PR17 or 170 for it. I actually just did a chart the other day, and I was looking at the beautiful reds and what I wanted to, keep on my chart. And I was looking for like alizarin crimson, which is PR206, which I actually ordered from Daniel Smith to try the permanent alizarin crimson because I heard this one was better light fast rating than the ones that I have. And I didn't know what it was like. And then permanent red deep, PR254. Which is Pyro Red, which I absolutely love. It's gorgeous. It's so bright. But in any case, I haven't done a big chart on those, and I need to. So Golden Deep is this one. And this does not look like it. I don't know. Let's open this one because it doesn't look like it to me. So since I opened the others, I may as well open this too. So far there's two yellows. you can't go wrong with those yellows. So if you have, if you have the opportunity to grab, oh yeah, that's definitely not the color. If you have the opportunity to grab white nights, then, and you want to do a lot of painting and you want something that is not expensive, those yellows are beautiful. Lemon 214 and cad yellow. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's take a look at this next color. So this is the Golden Deep. Ah, so lovely, so smooth. Right? Beautiful. Let's put it on a little darker here. Oh, it travels so well in water too, as far as like it just feels so slick. So great color. Yeah, I love doing this because it just reminds me of how great all the colors are that I have. Like I literally don't have anything that I don't like to use. Cad Red Light. This one. Stunning. Stunning color. It's actually more beautiful now than it was in this swatch here. And as thick as that is, it's still transparent. So the claims on the website that they layer well and stay transparent even after multiple layers, I gotta tell you, they do. They do. There's some people that swear by white nights, and you know, at this price range, there's a lot of colors. Like the Series B has several colors. Actually, the cadmium yellow medium is part of the B series. The cerulean blue is in the B series. The chromium cobalt turquoise, which I don't have here. Cadmium red light is in the B series, and cadmium yellow as well as blue cobalt. So let's get the carmine, because carmine is my favorite color from this line, but I'm not really sure why it looks so light there. I'm kind of frightened that it faded. But see how gorgeous this color is? Look at that. Insane, right? Isn't that just the most beautiful color? It's so pretty. It actually, in the video, it looks a little more pink than it is. It's a little bit more rosy color. I wonder if I can adjust it. Let me see. A little bit better. Yeah, that looks a little better. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. Yeah, that looks more like the color. So this is Carmine 319. It is just beautiful. Really pretty. Okay, raw sienna, here we come. This one came out of the tube really strangely. It's like very thick, but it does wet down really well. Oh yeah, wets down fine. I don't love the color of this raw sienna. I think I have much nicer ones. I like them to be just a bit more gold. This one leans, I don't know, it's kind of a little bit green, right? Like it just doesn't have that warm gold. Like I almost want to mix it with some cad yellow just to warm it up a little bit. But this is PBR7. Let's do the sepia. Still, it went on really nicely. This doesn't require a lot at all. I can actually see the sepia traveling really well along the water line here. You know, like let's rinse some of it out just so you can get a feel for it. So you can get a nice transparent layer and still have that thickness. Yeah, very transparent though, right? Use a little water. Look at that. Look at that go. That's actually fun. It's a really fun watercolor. It's got a lot of movement. And I had remembered these as not being like they didn't move very well, you know? Boy, this one really likes to hang out. Let's put some weight on it. Sorry, I don't mean to confuse you, but I'm just here. Let's use this one so that you don't think that that's a Daniel Smith color. Okay, let's do lamp black. Lamp black was a little thick, which I like. I like it to be very inky black because it's very hard to get that in watercolor. It's actually got some pretty good coverage. And I can lift that back a bit to get those lighter tones and then get a stronger down below. That's nice. It's a very nice black. Now the sepia it's dry shifting, like, wow, huge. The dry shift is insane. It's losing its darkness altogether and becoming much like this swatch here. This is the green, PG8. The green is just gorgeous. It's kind of like, it's almost like jadeite. Yeah, it looks like jadeite by Daniel Smith. It also has that like hooker's green kind of look to it. Isn't that lovely? It's just like my favorite color by them. I think it's just gorgeous. It's so rich and I don't have to mix it with anything. Like, it's just right out of there. It almost looks like it's a granulating green too. Then emerald. Emerald is another color. It's bright. It looks like viridian green, but it's brighter. You know, this is PG7 too. Now, most of my viridian greens, literally I have to wet them and wet them and wet them, and I can't get a really dark version out of them. They're just really light. So I love this one for that. I think this is just one of the better PG7s. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, this PG7 is a phthalo green, this one here, but look at how much brighter this one is, right? And then PG18, which is actual viridian, is just like so pale. So I kind of like this for that phthalo viridian kind of look, you know? Again, every time I paint with these, I can't remember why I don't pick them up more often and why I don't actually buy more colors from them, because it's great watercolor. Other than I'm seeing the sepia has a dry shift, but you know, look, the sepia is made of PR 102, PR 187, and PBK 7. So literally, it's got so many colors in it. So I would use this probably just to, like, I don't know that I would ever use sepia. Maybe just on wood, you know, to paint like a wood color. But I don't really know that I would use it, to tell you the truth. I think it's just a non-starter for me. This is a really gorgeous ultramarine too, PB29. So you can lay it on real thick and a little water, and it's just beautiful. And it has that transparency with granulation. And lifting ability. See it lift? And I'm not even trying really hard. There you go. Beautiful. I want this end to be a little thicker, so look at that. Even wet on wet, it layers really nicely. Again, thrilled. I really do. I'm going, as soon as White Nights has a sale, I think I'm just going to order some more White Nights and try some more of them, because they just impress me every time. I just hope that the dry shift on the rest of these isn't bad, because then that would be a little bit of a pain. But since they're transparent and they layer well, have to get a lot of this on my brush. This is not the best cerulean, but I have made a lot of mixes with this color actually and not left it like it is. It seems like you have to do it in transparent layers. That's like the best thing to do with it. I find that like this cerulean does this very light blue thing really, really well, but it doesn't do a thick cerulean. So you're not going to get like a really thick cerulean blue out of it. But I did mix like a stormy color with this once. That's really pretty. I can't remember what I mixed with it. I mixed a couple of different colors with it. And I ended up with a color I really loved that was just a little more stormy. So if I dry my brush and while it's wet, just kind of add more paint, it's a little sticky looking, like it kind of looks sticky. So I don't recommend adding more than just a very, very light layer of paint, letting it dry and then going over it. But beware, because although that is really pretty, I think it's just pretty in the light phase, because when I did multiple layers, it actually went opaque, really opaque, like not even a pretty opaque. It's just kind of like this dusty, like it has white in it. So it almost looked, when I layered it, it didn't stay like the transparent. It went like I had taken a blue and added white to it to get that cerulean color. So it wasn't the greatest, you know. Personally, I think the best so far that I've seen, the best cerulean blue that I've seen is the one by White Nights. Or not, I'm sorry, not White Nights. This one over here. I'll show it to you. It's by Windsor Newton. And I happen to have it right here. I have it in my Windsor Newton palette. Let me show you this palette. So I kind of have a lot of Windsor Newton. These ones are from France. And I built this palette myself with some beautiful watercolors that were gifted to me last year from a very dear friend. And he sent these over from Paris for me, and I love them. They're so beautiful. They have great quality. And although I don't paint with them that much, I use them as like the base, the core of discovering watercolor. So if I have a new color that I'm bringing in, I always lay down the White Night version, because these are all single pigment ones. And so then I'm like, okay, well, what does, like for instance, this is PB35, right? So what does PB35 really look like? And what are the attributes of it? And that's how I kind of, go. So like right now, you can see the difference. One, this color is way more clear, where the White Night version is way more dusty. It's like kind of gray tone to it, where this is a very clear cerulean. And also the stickiness of it, it didn't quite wet down well. It's still got that sticky feel, and it's separated from the binder, right? So this one, absolutely not. I can add layers while it's still wet, and I can really play with it, and I can still get that sheerness when it's dry, or, just a light effect on dry paper. So I really love the cerulean by the White Nights so much better. So if you're in the mood to get cerulean by White Nights, I'll leave you a 10% discount code, or I'll look and find it in the cheapest place for you so you can order it, because I highly recommend that color. It's stunning. One of my favorite. But at the same time, overall, as I'm looking, so sepia, that's a non-starter for me. I just hate it. I think it's horrible. It doesn't even deserve like a little slot here, but I'm going to give it anyway because I'm kind. The lemon, beautiful. PY3, stunning. I absolutely love their lemon. But there aren't too many lemons I don't like, except for Windsor Newton, actually. The Windsor Newton lemon is not my favorite. I find it to be way too pale. It's this one here. It's way too pale for me. It doesn't have that, that really great energy. But also the Hansa lemon is beautiful. That's a PY3. Hansa is lemon yellow, by the way. That's gorgeous, which is by Daniel Smith and also by Schminke. Both make a great lemon. The Cad Yellow PY35, excellent Cad Yellow. It actually is equivalent to the White Knights for sure, and equivalent to my Schminke, no doubt. The Golden Deep, I love this orange. This is PO62. I would think that it's actually in the family of the Permanent Yellow Deep, the PY65. Or maybe even transparent orange, a little lighter, like a little more yellow, but it has a good quality to it, a really beautiful quality to it. So I recommend that one. That is really nice. Our raw sienna, the raw sienna is okay. It's smooth, which is nice. It's kind of like, it's not a burnt sienna. It's a raw sienna. I don't find it to be that attractive, but at the same time, I do not like the Windsor Newton raw sienna. The Windsor Newton raw sienna is more like an ochre color to me, where this one has a lot more, this has more yellow, and this one just has more color. You know what I mean? This is like a little more toasted, like a toasted raw sienna. Some of the other ones I've used, like this one's a burnt sienna, and this is or a natural sienna, and that's really pretty. That's by Roman Schmal. This one's nice though. It's like toast, right? It's like a toasting color. So yes, on the raw sienna, I recommend it. Number 405, PBR7. Cad Red Light. I do really like this one. This is kind of like a Scarlet Lake by Windsor Newton. Or, I don't have my red chart with me. I'm trying to think of it's like maybe a pyro red or pyro orange. It could possibly be. Yeah, but I liked it. I liked painting with it. It was beautiful. You can't go wrong with it. So that is kind of a granulating one too, PR 108. And then the Carmine, yes, and yes. And look, it held its color. So it's beautiful. This is just gorgeous. This is kind of like a permanent rose. It definitely doesn't look like the permanent carmine from Windsor Newton. It looks nothing like it, actually. This is PR 170-1. It is way brighter than quinacridone rose, which is PV19. It's way more pink than the PV42 magenta. And the regular permanent carmine that's out there, permanent carmine is PV19 typically. This is PR 171, and it's gorgeous. I don't really have anything else I can compare this to, but if I were going to try, there are some Roman Schmal paints that could possibly line up to it. Let's take a quick look. So Madder Red is slightly there, but not, it's more dusty than this one. This one's brighter. The Alizarin Crimson is kind of like that, but a little more red. The Permanent Red is too thick red. God, see, this is the transparency. There's really literally nothing that I can think of right now that equates to this color. Let me look through here real quick. The Windsor Red, nope, that's too more tomato. The Pyro Scarlet is not. That's more orange. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. I cannot think of one right now. Permanent Carmine. Here's Permanent Carmine by A. Gallo, which is a beautiful watercolor company, but as you know, very expensive. It would be closer to the Permanent Carmine by A. Gallo. That's what I would think. Yep, it is. So this is equivalent to a very expensive watercolor, so great deal. I know it's a beautiful one because it is seriously easy to paint with. I think you'll be really impressed with it. I'll leave these out for a second. So the emerald looks amazing, right? The emerald held its color. This is a PG7, which is a phthalo green. And I mean, kind of viridian, but some of my viridians look a little bit like this, but this is PG7. So definitely one of their phthalos if you wanted a phthalo. And this one traveled well. It's got nice transparency. I liked it. I liked it. I don't know how it, if it operates like phthalo where it just takes over. I would imagine it does. The green. This is the green PG8. It's like somewhere in between like a sap green and a forest green. It's such a beautiful green. It's almost like a permanent green olive. Permanent green olive looks very similar to it, but I still think jadeite looks identical to this. So if you wanted a cheaper version of jadeite, I would say the PG8. But you know what? Do some more research and see what people are saying if this is light fast as it says. I mean, on the tube, it's written in Russian. On the tube, see, it only has 2 stars for light fast. So that is the least light fast rating that I've seen. But yet it's so gorgeous, where jadeite, I believe, has a really high light fast rating. So I don't know, you might not get your money's worth, right? So definitely look into it. I know there are sites out there that do a lot of testing. I haven't looked them up for that in a long time because, as I said, I don't use that for paintings. And perhaps there was light fast issues. I don't know. I don't know. I usually paint the most with my Schmincke because I know they're dependable. The ultramarine, gorgeous color. Not my favorite ultramarine though, I have to say. My favorite one is definitely my Schmincke, but let's look. I think I like the Roman Schmal a lot too lately, as I've been playing with that one. So if we go to the ultramarine, I'm going to do a red chart for you guys too soon. So ultra finest I use a lot. That's for 94 by Schmincke. I love that color. The White Nights one is more like purpley blue, like a lot more purpley blue. But Sennelier, if you want something bright, their ultra is like so gorgeous, but it's not granulating. The French ultra by Schmincke is granulating, and that is stunning. If you want something non-granulating, the Roman Schmal French Ultra is kind of granulating, but not too, but it's so beautiful, right? So, so beautiful. Ultra Intense by Roman Schmal, another one that is beautiful in that vein. The Core, I don't love. The Daniel Smith, I definitely don't love their French Ultra. The Daniel Smith Ultramarine, I definitely don't like that either. It's kind of like too powdery. But the Ultra Finest by Schmincke, love it. The Windsor Newton French Ultra is okay, but I feel like I get fading and dry shift there. You know, like it just doesn't do anything. The Sennelier is definitely the Ultra Deep is the darkest. But the Roman Schmal is like probably my most used Ultra. And they're Ultra Intense. Those are 2 of my most used colors. And then I use a lot of the French Ultra by Schmincke. That's definitely my favorite one. This one, no, not my favorite. But I mean, listen, if you can't get Roman Schmal, then it's a pretty good color for something that is granulating. It doesn't have a ton of granulation in it, though. I don't know why. Maybe if you put it into like a well and mix it around with some water, then maybe just the bit that I got is not that, you know, not that pigmented. It doesn't have the sediment, I mean, in it. And lamp black, not my favorite lamp black. Definitely not. It looked better when it was first going on. I would much rather use just, I mean, like this lamp black is like a warm Payne's gray. It's not nice. I don't like it at all. I've seen way better PBK 7s, but can't win them all, right? Overall, carmine, yes. Yellows, yes. The orange is gorgeous. The cad red light was gorgeous. The greens are beautiful, you know, beautiful. But as far as like the earthy tones, I wasn't too thrilled with those. The greens are gorgeous, but check on the light fast rating and make sure, because there are a lot of greens out there. And if you're going to spend money on greens, there are so many greens to buy that are so beautiful. If you get it in a set and you're going to use it anyway, then awesome. It works out. It's beautiful greens. But yeah, so that's my review on the White Knight set. And like, for instance, this green, gorgeous green, so pretty, gorgeous greens. I have so many gorgeous greens. I'll show you guys as I do them. All right, more watercolor coming up. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more and you want to hear my opinion on the different watercolors, I have like every single set. Just suggest and I will let you know. If you don't mind using my cerulean, actually dried really nicely. If you don't mind using my links in the description, I would really appreciate it, because that's how I purchased the watercolor. So when you guys ask me to get a watercolor to test out, I use the affiliate income in order to bring all these in, which I have just ordered a bunch of Daniel Smith. So I think I have like 5 new tubes of Daniel Smith coming in, as well as all of these here, which are really beautiful, that I have not reviewed on the channel, but I would be happy, only too happy to review these when these 5 come back in. And those are going to be really, really fun to talk about and take a look at. All right. So nice. That was interesting. It was a nice reminder of what I liked and what I don't like about my White Knights. Either way, happy painting day for sure. You can never go wrong, right? All right, guys, have a great one, and I will catch you on the flip side again soon. See you later.